Hello, hello, people of the internet, and also the Freedom Astrologer here, and the Cosmic Adults saying hey and hello to you.
Yay. I'm part two of the Cosmic Adults, Mercedes, and I'm an intuitive guide, healer, channel, all kinds of different things, but
All
mainly
that
a
good
cosmic
stuff.
adult. Hang on. First of all, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
The question is, what about the name Cosmic Adults, like, do you feel resonates with you?
What part of it?
Yeah, because like we picked it, right?
Yeah.
To describe ourselves essentially, and kind of feeling like for me personally, I felt like I feel like there's a lot of people moving into spirituality in our sort of age range
Yeah.
where we're kids basically, but we all of a sudden have all these responsibilities and yada yada yada. And I think that there's a universal spiritual meaning to it. How do you feel?
I feel totally. Um, for me, it's a lot because why it resonated for me was it touched upon so many things that I've been doing for the last 10 years. So
Mm,
basically, coming into my adulthood. And
yeah.
within it wasn't only on about cosmic things, but I think it really ties in that you need to grow up as a human, as a spiritual person, and you need emotional maturity, need spiritual maturity, and
Mm-hmm.
that these themes really
Yeah.
why I like that name.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
think
And
that
I think,
these are the people we're talking
mhm,
about, talking
yeah,
to as well.
yeah. People, and I think one of the biggest things about growing spiritually is really like letting go of your past and healing that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then it's like then you really become who you are. So to me, I think that's what it's all about. Like, and cosmic just seems like everything. It's like everything. Yeah. Anyways, okay. I was just curious. So what does March 6th hold? What are we looking at?
Because okay, so we
Some gibberish
we
in a circle
it's
that
weird.
some people understand.
It's a little bit weird because we covered the sixth in the freaking last week. You know,
Did we?
yeah,
Oh
because
my
we
God.
covered it's the Moon in Taurus and the Saturn and the Uranus
Oh,
thing.
right.
That's the thing.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, we did. Okay. So briefly, big themes. I think the biggest theme was friendship that was coming up, masculine, feminine. You're making the nice meal.
Yeah, making the
Yeah.
grandpa
No, that was
satisfied.
Saturday. That was the 5th. Go back to the 5th
Well,
because the word was sync.
it starts.
But it's still the
It's
same thing,
it's more
kind
the
of.
sixth.
It's similar.
For
Yeah.
for
Okay.
Canadians and USA, it's fifth.
Yeah, us slow folks that are behind the elite Europeans
Yeah, then yeah,
that
yes,
are in the future.
exactly.
Isn't it crazy that you like know things before they happen to us?
Yes,
Oh, okay. Well, the word I have for the 6 is the word still.
being still.
Hmm. Not stillness, still. And that, like, I mean, that makes me also think of like making moonshine.
Making moonshine.
I mean, not something I would personally do, but people do that.
Ah, yeah, yeah. People do that a lot, I think. Um,
Yeah. Used to be a big deal. Still
I,
kind of is a big deal.
I would personally do that as well. But
Well, I think the still, I want to go. I want to go into the meaning, right? Like a still, basically, you like mash up a recipe, stick it in a pressure cooker, and what comes out is like what you want.
I can see that. I think the moon in Taurus is already hinting at that for us during this day.
Here's a
And
pressure cooker.
I mean, because the Taurus and fixed sign moons, and especially Taurus moons, which is usually a very pleasant moon, an enjoyable emotional ride, it's
Mm-hmm.
getting the Taurus and Saturn square and the Uranus conjunction. So that is a pressure cooker.
Ah.
And if our emotions are kind of like in between, as you can see, those of you who are watching, you can see the moon is right now. It's coming in, and it's between actually Uranus here and Saturn here. So that can like make those emotions bubble even in that earthly and grounded Taurus energy. It's like a pressure cooker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because last episode we were talking about bubbles popping
And,
also.
and I would say that energy carries on to this week because a little bit, because Jupiter and Sun are starting to separate from each other, which is that expansive confidence, big bubble type of energy. They're starting
Mm-hmm.
to separate a little bit here and here, and once planets start to separate, actually gets the energy gets slower and slower, or dials down a little bit.
So when they're conjunct, it's getting stronger, or when they're coming towards
Yes.
each other. Because we also have to remember that, like, yeah, okay, right now we're looking at all these glyphs in a circle, but this is literally like Earth and where all the planets out in the solar system are in relation to Earth. So
Exactly.
when they're in conjunct, they're crossing each other's path in the sky. So they're literally like creating a, I don't know, what would you call that? A path.
I
It
like the
reminds
word
me,
meeting. Like a meeting
uh,
is very much what I
it
like.
like it reminds me of like in the movie Hercules or whatever, like the Disney movie where it's like
Mm.
that big when all the planets are lining up and it's like
Hmm.
they're lining up. Yeah,
Like a pathway, you mean?
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
And we have guys. We touched upon it a little bit in the last week's episode, but the Mars and Venus switched signs, so there's a lot of emphasis on friendships and relationships, and mostly as in like social circles that are, let's say, friends more than very very deep intimacy things. It's a little bit more on the surface there, and the themes are, I want freedom in relationships. I want some relationships need to be cut off, and I need to, and also relationships give us the strength and energy to go towards our material dreams and goals in life as
Heck
well.
yeah, they do. Heck yeah, you need your homies. I
Like,
believe I wouldn't be anywhere without my friends.
I really think we need people kind of behind us, next to
Hmm.
us,
Like-minded.
like.
And I think that there's also like, I feel like in the future, we're really going to need friends that we can rely on, not friends that are like flaky. Let's say like, you need you need something. You need someone to call or contact. And you need that person to be showing up, especially if like survival depends on it or something, right?
I really like that you bring this topic up because I think this is something that's been on my mind for a really long time anyway, and I've been dealing with it. But I think, and I got to the point of, okay, so do I want a lot of these people, or like, you know, flaky, like you said, and they're not really showing up, or do I want to form really good foundations in relationships? And this means, getting to know the person, in and out, their darkness as well as their light, the way they act in certain situations, the way they solve their problems, every these kinds of things I want to know about, so I can rely on them. I can be, I want to share that with them as
Mm-hmm.
well,
Mm-hmm.
and be it like a
And like also
reciprocal,
like, yeah, and like know what to rely on them for,
you know, good one.
astrologically or otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, if your friend is a Virgo, so don't go to them for big picture stuff usually. And if your friend is a Pisces or a Sagittarius, for example, definitely go for big picture stuff for them with
Picture
them.
stuff. Yeah, dream it.
Okay,
Cool. Cool.
let's
Let's
move a little.
yeah.
Yeah.
Monday, the start of the work week.
7th.
Whew. Whoa. I was given the word opening.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and then I also like I see the image of like opening up a can, like, ooh, is it a can of worms? Is it a can of whoop ass? I don't know. It's gonna depend on your life.
Um, when I look at the astrology in relation to that, I mean,
It's like, can we get serious?
it can be a little bit of like a whoop ass from some friends circles, because this theme, guys, it's not only for the friendship theme we brought up isn't only for that day specifically. This astrological, this energy does move, I think,
Yeah.
at least 2 weeks from when you're hearing this, so around the 7th, 6th of March. So you will feel that more. So it can be a friend who kicks your ass a little bit and opens up that kind of worms that maybe is there.
I really appreciate those friends that do that. Like, okay, like I really appreciate the friends, like my friends that are girls, that if I was like, oh yeah, like, I'm gonna use the classic, like, yeah, I'm just like talking to this guy and he's not like he's responding and they're like, no. No, like I need that in my life. I need someone to tell me, no, that is not what you want. Because it's like, do I really want to be confused for my whole life and my whole relationship? No, not really. So people out there who dish it bluntly, you have a place.
Definitely,
And
definitely.
don't be around people that don't appreciate that because it's important.
And I think it's very hard for people to bring that sometimes as well, especially if you have a lot of Libra. Maybe you have something there to kind of back it up, like a strong Mars, then you can bring it more directly. It's easier, but
I just said,
it's a skill. It's a skill.
I just said, like yes, I know what you're talking about.
I bet you do, actually.
Maybe. Okay,
So
what's going on in the astrology? What's the important?
I
Moon's
mean,
still in Taurus, hanging out with crazy Einstein there.
again, it's starting to separate from crazy Einstein, and the thing is, it's getting exact. Here is the Saturn, the grandpa. It's getting exact square. So yeah, later in the day in Europe, but again, it's the square isn't always bad. It can bring that
So,
maturity.
yeah, why don't we talk about that? Like, what does a square do, especially in this scenario where we're looking at
No, no,
Saturn's?
square in this scenario can bring you a feeling of literally like, can I really do this? Can I really go practically towards these goals? And like the in a more internal sense, it can make you feel a little bit down, just like like heavier feelings it can bring. And maybe even somebody's from a social circle or online gives you like something or a comment like, "Bleh, you blah, blah, blah," something a little bit like harsher can happen there as well. But the emotional side here is still the Taurus is there, so it's easier for you to ground it. It doesn't it isn't so reactive, luckily, because it's separating from Uranus already as well.
Well, and I think one of the things people do when these type, just in general, like not even based on astrology, but like that people do when a hard situation is presented is closing down
Mm.
and making yourself really small and like, ooh, like maybe victim mentality, like, oh, this person said this mean thing to me. Well, guess what? You're an adult and people are going to say mean things to you. And it's only if you perceive them to be mean that they're mean. And it's only if you make them mean something about you.
Yeah. Don't give them that
So,
power, guys.
not at all. And I think keeping yourself very open and just allowing that to, oh wow, can't believe that's the opinion, and move on.
That's a good
We
one.
need flow.
Yeah. And sometimes there's, even good stuff like there you can take action on, maybe there's not something in your life that you need to change, but just,
Oh, I hear
yeah.
baby.
Oh, the baby.
The baby.
The baby woke up.
The
That's
baby's
okay.
up.
Let's move to the 8th.
Yeah, there's not like, yeah, I mean, the energies are sort of, yeah, like we're still in that theme of focusing on friendships. We're still in that theme of who can you rely on? It's the grandfather's teaching you, and I think the thing about Saturn that everyone also forgets is like it's like the most loving energy. It's like moving you forward and teaching you because you want that, not because you don't want that. Like your soul is literally like pumped by Saturn.
Soul is pumped by Saturn. That's a very, very interesting one to give. It's a very nice one. I like it. I was just like, I was hit by it. I was like, whoa. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, the 8th I have
I'm
outrage.
speechless right now.
Oh, you're still speechless.
I'm like, soul pumped by Saturn. Okay. I need to think about it later on. Like, really get
Yeah.
into it. Okay.
Ponder that. Well,
what do you have for 8th?
outrageous and astronomical. This is the first time I had 2 words.
For me, I think we can. This really ties in because Moon is now ending degrees of Taurus, and ending degrees of Taurus usually means it's conjunct the fixed star Algol, which is, well,
Ooh.
it's a
Ooh.
bit.
Ooh. I don't know very many stars, but I know that one.
That one is a bit of a hard one to handle, definitely, but because right now we're having also the North Node conjunction every time with the Moon there. It brings up definitely again with that emotional intensity towards a lot of matters actually, like even money we can say when it's in Taurus, but even towards pleasure and enjoyment. It's like, oh, I really need to enjoy and pleasure and get those 5 senses really intensely met. But the Algol thing, one of the things that I've really found with Algol is yes, the aggressiveness of people can come out and the emotional aggressiveness of people can come out. But the
Right.
really, really good thing with Moon on Algol, and I've used this a bunch of times now, is to go really deeply into your, let's say, spiritual practices, or like these, even if you search for astrology or something kind of esoteric and deep that is more, not in the mainstream so much, really dials it down, and kind of like the energy is there for you to go deep.
Well, and I think that like your guides are going to teach you what your angels and guides and all the beings around you, they're going to teach you exactly what you need to know and where you need to go deep.
Oh, so you mean they're going to literally show you the areas
Direct
where?
it. Yeah. I think a lot of people get scared of like going deep. How would I go deep? Where would I go deep? What do I need to look at? Well, ask the question.
What is the, yeah, I really, because
What's the area?
the really weird thing about this asking of the question, I want to share this because I think this is really freaking important. Like,
I thought you were just gonna say this is really freaky.
that too,
This is
that
really
too.
freaky.
That too.
Okay, go,
But
go.
but it's like one of the reasons what Mercedes said, like ask question, it's really freaking important because For the human mind, it seems so simple. What do you mean? I need to ask the question and things start happening? Like, yes, literally, it's
Yes.
that
Yes,
simple.
that that's exactly it.
And and most people want some like whoosh, just like big, like I don't know what kind of weird machine to start doing the things for them to make it sense. But like, if you ask one simple question and ask it with intention and purpose, like it will be shown to you. And you, I think
hmm
you see so many images. Maybe you can a little bit, prepare the people what they're going to see. I don't know.
Well, it's really going to be specific to them and how how they need to receive a message. Like, so however you need to receive a message is exactly how a message will come. So just paying more attention is all. Asking questions and paying attention.
Really simple stuff, guys, but
Yeah.
sometimes hard to do.
Yeah, super hard to do. We really like to distract ourselves. Sometimes I will spend an hour not reading a book and then sit down for 15 minutes with it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I know that what's in that book is super important, but does my ego want that? I don't know. Probably not. A little scared. And that's okay. Over
Yeah.
time, it fades more and more.
What I've said is it needs a lot of practice, guys. And
Yeah.
at first, the mind goes like, oh, I don't want to do it. But then once you
Mhm.
start doing it, it gets easier.
Yeah. So, as far as the depth and going all the way deep, if you're meant to go there, you just will. So, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Okay.
What are we looking at now?
We're
Oh,
going we're
Wednesday,
going into the ninth.
the 9th. Okay, I have Eden. Eden is the word.
Eden, that's a wild
Eden.
one.
Yeah. Does that mean we're gonna be able to start planting our gardens?
Um
Just say yes.
sure.
Yes.
I mean,
No, probably starting seeds and things. So I think this is sort of coming into that spring. I think that's more what it's pointing to, the spring and the new life that's going to be coming up and garden and all that jazz.
interesting that because the moon is moving into Gemini, so Gemini moon is
Ooh.
really kind of like a busy time for us,
Mm-hmm.
and so we want to interact, we want to converse, we want to learn skills. So if we want to learn gardening, pretty good. We'll learn about seeds, something about, and that's a lot to do with Gemini moon, and just it can get a little bit scattered here and there, and it's like I'm here, I have a conversation here and there, and da da da. Lots of messages can come in,
Right.
but
I also I want to I feel like this Eden thing is something to like meditate on a bit and for each person to sort of find their Eden, whatever that may be. The Garden of Eden, you know, there's a lot of sacredness in that story and in what that really is. Like it's a lot deeper, I think, than what people know or perceive. So really tuning in on the 9th. What's your Eden? What's your sacredness? What's your we focus a lot, when we're talking about freedom on the things that are limiting us, but what's not limiting us? What are our assets? Let's say. Where's flourishing?
would you also say or agree that it's a little to do with what nurtures us?
Yes. Nurture, and I want to say like divine feminine, like
Hmm.
that divinity. Like as I'm saying the word even Eden, it's just like,
Because now I see from an astrological point what it really actually plays around with as well, because the moon is going to be conjunct Ceres as well, the asteroid, and it's a lot to do
oh,
with
the
emotional, the
mother.
mother, the nurture, the kind of like the
Yeah.
soft energies and the taking care of energies type of thing. I may even notice my voice getting, you know, softer.
So soft.
So it's like smooth and silky.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, you know what? I don't know, whatever energy's coming in, I really just feel very soft and safe in it. Like what would it be like to be in that Garden of Eden? I mean, I can't even imagine. But I feel like all of those stories are just bringing everything back to yourself. What's the Garden of Eden within yourself? Oh, the mothering and the nurturing just feels so nice. I feel like there's a lot of people out there that didn't necessarily get that mothering, nurturing stuff. So it's important to do that as an adult. Do it yourself.
Yes, freaking crucially important, guys. I mean, in my work, that's
Crucial.
almost like, I don't know, 75% of what I talk about anyway. A lot of big part is like, if you didn't get that nurture during your childhood, you very often have a part of you almost there in those situations, or stuck there in those situations once or until you start giving you that nurture, that attention, that love that you actually deserve, needed, and required. And then that part or hole can be filled, and it can filled
Yeah.
quite nicely. And you can see that actually there are a lot of good people out there in the world as well, who can actually now in your adulthood give you some of that as well.
Well said. Well said.
Hmm.
Whew. Oh man, I don't know. There's just like really, it just feels really, really beautiful right now. Um,
The
what's
10th, we have the 10th
10th?
now.
Oh man, 10th is a little heavier, I feel. The word is like that I got was ominous. It's like, whoa, whoo, okay.
One of the biggest important things here happening on the 10th.
What?
You probably
Why
not
are you
are.
laughing?
You're probably not gonna like it, but or are going to like it.
No.
Mercury is moving into Pisces, and you know very well what it means to have Mercury in the sign of Pisces.
Okay, well, let's share with the class, Ian.
Let's let's start from somewhere, because you know Mercury in Pisces gets a lot of bad rap, and let's maybe start with some of the things we might need to be a little bit more mindful when Mercury is transiting for a couple of weeks in the sign of Pisces.
For a
So-
couple weeks?
For a couple of weeks, and this is that we during the 10th we get that, you know, the start.
Yeah.
9th,
Okay,
10th.
ominous is correct. Ominous is correct.
It's-
Oh my god.
It's too dramatic, I think, the ominous.
I
word.
am being dramatic. Okay, I'll tone it down.
But like like some of the things you need to be aware of, like the communication gets a little bit more dreamy, more out into the ethers. You know, the words can be sometimes, you know, misleading, but it's not like people are doing it on purpose. But it's just like it's the minds are very much connected to the ethers, to the other realms, to the guides, so that the spiritual energies are flowing so intensely and quickly. But it, you know, the earthliness, the practicality, the administrative tasks we need to also do, you know, can be a little bit behind the scenes, and we don't want to do them, or we do them kind of like, you know,
Right.
a little bit
Isn't
here and
this,
there.
is it Mercury in Pisces? Isn't that like one of the psychic signs in a person's chart? Yeah.
Totally, totally.
Okay.
So the psychic energies are really flowing well. Just be a little bit more mindful. What are the words that you're using? Let's say maybe you're discussing a meeting, or when we're going to have a meeting. You know, these are the moments you're kind of like, okay, I need to bring it out of the ethers for a second and just do the thing, and then go into the fantasy lands. Not only fantasy lands, but you know, the guides and things. And it's a really good time for song lyric writers, artists, poets, spiritual people.
Right, right. Neat. Oh, so
Oh,
then, so how is this going to affect people though? Like, is it that they have to look at their chart, find out where stuff is, or what's?
I would say in general that the the awareness of the words we're saying needs to be there in
Mm,
general. Like it so much affects the general communication and the words and the things we write as well. And remember, guys, even this is very specific to the 10th. Moon is getting a square from Neptune, so it's a kind of like an
mm,
extra misty day, a mystery kind of like hazes and emotional. Yes, feeling is good and feelings are in tune,
mm-hmm.
but even there, we can be a little bit misguided in our feeling system. So we need extra time. I think we need just longer time to be in kind of meditation and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah.
Anything else in particular? Like,
Mm.
hmm.
I mean,
I keep looking at the North Node. Like, is that, I mean, it's gone into Taurus, South Node
hmm
in Scorpio now,
hmm
right? Is there
hmm
anything specifically that's affecting that?
mm, you mean by aspect or just generally
Yeah.
what these mean?
I mean, yeah, yeah, what does it mean? And then what's aspecting it right now that might be affecting, that might be,
So when we have the North Node in the sign of Taurus, it is that the attention very much in the world in general goes to the nature, the practical, the material side of things. Like even like you said, the seeds and planting of the seeds and stuff like that. So a lot of human attention is going towards these areas, and
right?
the opposite is always where the attention is less and it's a little bit taken away from that area, and it's Scorpio. These are like the deeper areas of our psyche, the subconscious, the feeling, and
Mm-hmm.
even we can say painful wounds as well.
I always think Scorpio is so super deep.
It is super deep, extremely deep sign with many many layers to peel off and still to uncover more constantly.
Well, I think the thing to remember is there's no end. There
Mm-mm.
is literally no end.
No end.
Like, there's no one perfect healed person out there. There's energy, higher energy, lower energy, different. Yeah, I can't even like get into it because there's just too much.
I mean, Scorpio
There's no
can be
end to
compared to
layers.
no end and too much because there's so much, and people get really tired of that Scorpionic energy as well. Especially when they have a lot of it in the charts. It's like, how much do I have to transform in my freaking life to have a normal life, And the point is, actually, you're here to experience
Yeah.
transformation constantly, constantly,
The
constantly.
limit does not exist.
Yep.
That's the
Hiya,
Mean
guys.
Girls. That's a Mean Girls quote for all of you out there that grew up like me.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. Okay, and then the 11th, Friday the
Uh-huh.
11th.
Mm-hmm.
Friday the 11th. Okay, I get strange. Strange.
Strange. Now, I think I think what you're getting into or tuning into, at least from an astrological point of view, is we're building up. I even wanted to tell it in the previous day, but I was like, we're building up to this Neptune and Sun conjunction.
Ooh.
Now, there are many good things about
Oh,
it. There are many
I
heavy
just
things about it.
saying that I'm like, oh my word.
It can be strange. It can get strange. Our creative minds and the things we create can have this very strange uniqueness. These from almost like from the other ethers. These
Hmm.
ideas and things.
Yeah, like I almost want to say like don't discount the strangeness. Like let's see say out of the corner of your eye you're seeing this dark shadow and you're like, "Oh, that's strange. Let me block that out." It's like this is the time to really start being like, oh, I'm seeing something. What is it? Let me look at it.
I think this is a very good energy to do that and allow yourself to do that because you have access to it. Literally, you have the access to it. The thing I would kind of warn you about is
Point out.
point
The thing
out.
I would point out.
That's a better word. Is it's a little bit of a like a I don't want to do anything practical, but it's again a very good time if you're in those creative arenas, creative pursuits.
Oh
Super
man.
good energy
Oh
for
my
that.
God. Notice when you're distracting yourself.
Hmm.
Notice it. Point it out. Don't don't ignore it. Just see it. See everything.
It's really right. I really love what you said, distracting, because it's really easy for this with this energy that's building up to go into like, oh, I'll just watch a movie or watch a fantasy, blah blah blah. I watch these, but if you have something creative to do instead, or maybe a spiritual meditation, even, these are the energies to do. So, and even to add to it, the moon is moving into Cancer, a very watery sign as well. And again, our good friend Mercedes here knows this stuff very well, and she can, share some of that stuff, hopefully.
Oh, oh, moon in Cancer is a toughie. I feel because, well, like I have this natally, so it's like feeling everything in a I want to say in a profound way. Like fellow moon in Cancers, like I feel you, like literally. Um, no, maybe not literally, but it's just it's just intense emotionally, and people are always like, oh, moon and Cancer crybaby. Okay, well, you give it a shot then. You give it a shot.
Cry, baby. Oh my god.
I hear that so much. It's like moon and Cancer's a crybaby. It's like, well, I went 5 years once with not crying one time.
That's the
Maybe 5 years is an exaggeration, but I certainly remember being like, I'm not going to cry. And then it was a long time.
that's the other side of the Cancer, because it's yes, it's super emotional and the rides go high and low and everything in between. But the thing is here, guys, it's also like the shell can be hard sometimes there, and
Mm-hmm.
the emotions are bubbling, and but the external is like
Mm-hmm.
it's like and
Yeah,
yeah, go
I
ahead.
don't know. I have definitely found that I could turn it off at times. Like it, so that's where I'm like, you have the choice. You always have a choice of how you want to feel. I think Cancer Moon, especially, it makes a very gifted healer, I would say as well.
Totally,
Like,
totally.
um, not to like toot my own horn here, but seriously, it's like it tunes you into to energies that other people don't necessarily perceive, which is amazing. And so I would say that would be a great time if you're needing, you know, tuning up any type of that type of work. March 11th.
Yeah, totally. It's a very good time use spiritual healing time, or creative time. These are the, I think, the main ones you can really go towards and get results at. Let's
Do you
say.
do you remember that time that I was like I was writing so many poems, like just pumping them out, and I
Hmm.
don't even know if they were any good, but it was like, and then I think I sent you one or two of them,
Hmm.
and it was like, I wonder if the moon was in Cancer at that time because it was literally like 4 days where I was like just straight stream of like feelings needing to get onto like some type of piece of paper or notes in my iPhone or whatever. It was like needed to come out. I mean, yeah. So yeah, and interesting the creative and that stream that can come. I feel
Use it, guys. Use it, guys, for the good stuff. I
for the
don't know.
good get the goods out.
Yeah, because
Okay.
because it's really easy to use it, like Mercedes mentioned before, for distractions. Make the conscious choice there.
Yeah. Or don't.
12th. Or
It's your choice. It's your choice.
or don't.
I feel this is well, the word that came was achieve.
Achieve. Okay.
Achieve.
This
Yeah.
one I know quite quickly already what is happening on the 12th for about
Aha.
these things.
I feel like I went first for all of these,
I,
and we
we
didn't
could
mix
do
it
this.
up,
We could mix it up later. Yeah.
but I just kind of went to roll with it.
12 is the last day we're doing this week as well. Oh yes. Oh
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have on this calendar that it's gonna be daylight savings time on the Sunday
yes. 20
for me,
for Canada.
for Canada. Is far behind, far behind the elite Europeans.
Yeah, we Europeans don't do it before the 21st. Unfortunately, we have our own schedules. But
Oh man.
so you
Okay,
mentioned
so
achievement.
achieve, yeah, achieve.
Achieve. So we have a pretty lovely actually moon trine. Actually, first and foremost, moon trine Jupiter, which is really good for
Oh.
our kind of, I would say, emotional lives in general. Just picks us up,
Oh.
picks us
Yeah,
up
that
for a
you know
moment.
what? It feels sparkly.
It is. It's
Like
very
it feels
sparkly.
very sparkly. Like how the sun makes the water sparkle. Like that's what it feels like.
But that's
Even
literally
though
how it feels like as well, I would say.
but you said Jupiter, right?
Hmm.
Jupiter. Okay.
Jupiter and Moon are going to do a trine, and
Mm.
then Moon is going to trine both um, the Sun and the Neptune. So the Sun is more about what you said about I emotionally feel like I can when it's in a trine I can achieve it, I can do it, and Jupiter even expands it as let's say
Interesting.
go
I
ahead.
almost feel like it's like with the way you're saying it seems like not necessarily achieving it, but knowing that you can achieve it,
Exactly.
like emotionally being ready to achieve it. Interesting. So like manifestation type of a day.
I would definitely use it as such, like really like visualize, maybe even like I don't know, vision board, write it down, do something as well. I always like action as well with it because you will feel emotional. It's so good. It's easier to do these things. Yes, the Neptune can make it a little bit dreamy and again very spiritual and very creative. So use that other side
Yeah.
of that, putting it into material practice, into material reality as well.
Cool. Dig that. I'm all about that. Anything else
Mm,
on that day?
I mean, it's even the moon is
What's
really enjoying itself right now on this day because it's the only thing coming later in the day is the opposition to Pluto. But before, even every sextile, every trine, it's very, emotional and pleasant. So it's a really good time. Later on in the day, I think even maybe the 13th, and we can touch about it in the next video as well. It's an opposition to the Pluto. It's like it's the emotional high. It's yeah. And then they like suddenly it's like oh my god, I have these things inside. Oh, I need to deal with these, and I need to almost be okay with them as well and heal them.
Yeah, remember to stand in the middle.
Oh, you really
Stand
have
in the middle.
a way of really well simplifying my long kind of tirades of astrological things. It's like, do this.
Okay, what about your chart makes it that way?
I have Saturn in the third house. So it's kind of like repeating.
Oh, okay. That's fine. That's fine. We like that, right? We like that. Well, I mean, I got the Mercury in Pisces. So I'm just like all over the map. Sometimes we'll come back to topics that I started. Sometimes we'll veer off on a little story and then maybe make it back to the beginning point. But who freaking knows? We don't know.
Yeah, it's an adventure.
Yeah. Listen to the adventure. Okay, cool. Well, I think that kind of just about wraps it up. I mean, main themes of the week is basically stay grounded, find what nourishes you. When stuff gets hard, be cool with it, clear away the fog as best you can, and then near the end of the week we're moving into some manifesting. I like it. Seems
Yeah.
like a solid week with lots of twists and turns.
Yeah, we're still carrying on that optimism from the previous week as well. So
Yeah,
use
yeah.
it, and thank you very much for listening, watching,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. Next week we are going into what? The 13th to the 19th.
Exactly.
So we'll be tuning into the energies of that and bringing you the goods.
Bye, guys.
Have a great week.